Good morning, Class 5. I can't believe this is our final week of videos. I hope you've enjoyed the videos because I've enjoyed recording them for you, and I know that they've helped quite a lot of you, so that's really good. Excuse me. So today's guided reading is going to be an extract from a book called World of Warriors, A New Hero. Now there's some quite tricky vocabulary in this, so I've put some pictures on just to help you with some of those words. Okay, get your highlighters or your pencil ready to highlight or underline any of those unfamiliar words, and read along with me. Get a blooming move on. Dad's voice echoed through the tiny flat, sending shockwaves resonating through Trick Hope's body. The 13-year-old lay for a moment longer, thinking about the day ahead, before swinging his legs out from beneath the covers. He shambled to his feet, scratched and stretched. Hooking the vertical blinds aside, he peered out from the window. London sprawled before him. Trick lifted the lucky pendant around his neck to his lips, giving it a swift ritual kiss. Before letting it fall back onto his chest, he sifted through the clothes on his bedroom floor for his school shirt and drain pipes. After squeezing into the jeans, he tugged on the shirt, still buttoned from the night before, and slipped the knotted tie over his head like a noose. He stepped into his once white trainers, then walked over to the shelves beside the door. They were loaded with his comic collection, weeklies bought religiously from super freaks in Soho. Trick wasn't looking at the comics, though. His focus was on the terrarium, nestled between the piles of back issues. There was no movement within the glass tank. The foliage and the webs were motionless. Shelob had clearly been hungry in the night, polishing off the last of her crickets. "You'll be late." Trick rolled his eyes, making no attempt to quicken his pace. He shrugged his blazer on the maroon sleeves, threadbare from the various scrapes that he'd got himself into over the years. Lifting the flap on his backpack, he checked the contents: a half-empty box of Tic Tacs, a tatty exercise book, and a couple of biros. Hardly the ingredients for academic success, Trick shrugged. What had school ever really taught him, apart from the bag over his shoulder, and headed out of his bedroom? Okay, so it's quite a tricky one, that. Lots of different words and phrases in there. So I'm going to go through the ones that I've highlighted, because these are the ones that I thought you might have highlighted. So this one, sprawled. Now I'm going to read around the sentence to try and decipher what it means. So hooking the vertical blinds aside, he peered out of the window. London sprawled before him. So that makes me think that he's quite high up in the block of flats, and all he can see is London, like sprawled, is sort of like spread out before him. Okay, another word there, resonating. We have heard that one in class. That's sort of like echoing through his body. The next one was ritual. So again, I'm going to read around it to check the meaning, to try and understand what it means. Trick lifted the lucky pendant round his neck to his lips, giving it a swift ritual kiss. Now, ritual means that he does it all the time. It's sort of for good luck. Okay. He sifted through the clothes. That means he's looking through them really, really quickly, trying to find what he needs. For his school shirt and drain pipes. Now, his drain pipes are just what they call trousers, so I think this is probably from quite a long time ago. And noose, so he slipped the knotted tie over his head like a noose. This image here is a noose. So he's not tightened his tie properly, he's just literally put it over his head and gone. And then we've got the terrarium. So his focus was on the terrarium, which is this here. Okay, you can get little sea animals in there, like fish and stuff like that. Nestled between the piles of back issues. There was no movement within the glass tank. The foliage is just like the grass and the trees. And then we've got threadbare. Now this image shows a threadbare top. Okay, it's been worn away, it's old, it's ragged, the thread's coming off it. Okay, so hopefully that will have helped you understand what a few of those words or phrases mean, and then you can do question 1. Okay, you can still use a dictionary for the exact definition if you want, Okay, so we'll do the retrieval questions together, and then you can do your inference on your own. So use a dictionary to find the definitions for resonating, ritual and terrarium. I've gone through those with you already. Number 2, find and copy one word that shows that Trick's blazer is old. That is one that we've had a look at. So where it talks about his blazer, so you need to find the information about his blazer. Okay, and then read around that sentence. This is how you always need to be finding your answers, to read around the text. So he shrugged his blazer on, the maroon sleeves threadbare. Okay, we have already discussed that word, but I'm just showing you how to read around the information. And then find and copy one word that shows that Trick never forgets to buy his magazines. So let's find where it talks about his magazines. They were loaded with his comic collection, weeklies bought religiously from Super Freaks in Soho. The word religiously shows that he does it every single week. Okay, so that's your retrieval questions answered there. So you then need to make your own inferences. So remember, this is where the information is not in the text. You need to infer what is there. So what type of creature lives in the terrarium, how do you know? So you need to find the information about the terrarium. We know it's called Shell Bob, but it says that she's polished off the last of her crickets. Okay, now crickets are little creatures, okay, so it won't be a fish that lives in there. What could it be based on that? Then you've got, why do you think Trick kisses his necklace? So again, we know that he kisses his necklace here as a ritual. Okay, does that all the time. Why do you think he does that? Why is that necklace special to him? What makes him do that? And then, is Trick's room tidy? Give 2 pieces of evidence to support your answer. So think about what he has to do to find his clothes. Okay, think about what he finds in his backpack. Okay, think about that the terrarium is right at the back. His shelves are loaded with comics. Okay, so think about all that information. Oh, sorry. Then you can answer your questions. Okay, enjoy guys, and I'll see you for GPS and English.